Let's discuss meat. Dun dun dun. I know. Man, I think one of the biggest things that people get mad at me about is this meat thing, man. What? What do you mean I can't eat my meat? Believe me, I love meat as much as the next man. I want to eat meat and things like that. I like the way it tastes. Don't get me wrong. I'm from Georgia. We eat meat. We're big beefy boys. We come out of the country. Don't play with me. But just after years of research, the conclusions I've come to, it caused a paradigm shift in the way that I think towards eating in general. And meat was one of those things that just had to go in a lot of cases because of how deadly it is for the body. Now, um, why? First, you need to understand something. I don't care how much meat you've eaten throughout your life or how much somebody else is eating and things of that nature. Your body was not designed to digest meat. Period. It just wasn't. Consider first and foremost your teeth. And let's put that in relation to an actual carnivore. If we were to be called anything but human, we would be called herbivores. Our teeth were designed to crunch and press and chew vegetables. We have molars. We don't have sharp teeth like you would find in a tiger or a lion or a bear or something of that nature. Their teeth are very sharp for the ripping and tearing apart of meat when they capture it. We have to use knives and forks to do that. They don't have to do that. So just on a very preliminary basis, let's consider the teeth. Second, let's go deeper into the body and consider the intestines. Our intestines coil and wind in this very maze type, labyrinth type system. It's not straight at all. It's long winding system. Animals that are carnivorous, like a lion or a tiger. Let's just stick with our lion. Their intestines are short and straight. So food comes in and it immediately comes out. Now, food for us comes in and goes through the labyrinth. So when we eat meat, it literally it has to go through this maze. But when the animal eats the meat, it goes through the intestines and goes right out. Now, there's a reason for that, because meat is toxic, period. When your body cannot break down meat the same way an animal's body does. The hydrochloric content in a lion or bear, carnivorous animal, is many times higher than ours. Many times higher. It takes us about 3 good days to digest meat. 3. Now, consider this. Take a piece of meat. Leave it on the counter for 3 days in even 70-degree temperatures. And see what happens to it. It's going to start to putrefy. It's going to start to stink. It's going to stink up the whole house, as a matter of fact. Now, up that degrees by 20 degrees. 96, right? The inside, the temperature of our body. And imagine what's happening to meat that hasn't been digested for 3 days. Meat, because your body cannot digest the type of protein that comes with it very quickly, it takes about 3 days to do it, even more. A lion, most lions will eat and they won't eat again. They'll eat their fill and won't eat again for a 3-day period. Now, why is that? Because their hydrochloric content is still having a time digesting the meat that they ate, but it's far more efficient than ours. And the stuff that they're eating is coming in and is getting right out. So it doesn't kill them in the long run. For us, that does not happen because of the long winding intestines that we have. So even our insides were not designed to process and digest meat. It's just a fact of our nature. So you can deny that if you want to, but it's just the truth. You can't get past it. Our intestines, the hydrochloric content, our teeth, our body just wasn't designed to eat it. Now, can we eat meat? Yes, we found a way to cook it. We found a way to cut it. We found a way to make it something that we can at least get down our system. But is it the most efficient way of getting the protein that you need? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Plants and vegetables. That's the most efficient protein. Your body can break it down so much easier. It's not toxic to you because of the digestion process. It's not toxic to you at all. Your body breaks it down. It uses that protein so much more effortlessly than it would the meat protein. Now, are you getting enough protein from plants? Well, let me ask you this. Have you ever heard of the gorilla? Have you ever heard of an elephant, a giraffe, a hippopotamus? The biggest beast on the face of this earth don't eat meat. One shred of it, their entire lifespans. What do they eat? Plants, trees, bugs, things of that nature. Not one shred of meat. And they're pound for pound, the gorilla is the toughest, strongest beast on the face of this earth. And and that's without meat. So don't tell me that this can't get done. You can have a perfectly normal build if you decided to go vegan. I'm not telling you you have to go vegan, but I'm saying if that's what you wanted to do, or you wanted to commit to a lifestyle where you limited the amount of meat that you have in your body, it is not going to affect you in the way that you think it is. You're not going to be messed up because you're eating less meat. Okay? Now, safe meat consumption would consist of eating meat really honestly, less than 1 to 2 times a week. Your body needs time to process it. So basically that's giving you every 3 days you can eat a portion of meat for one meal. That would be safe consumption of it. But you have to just consider, it really doesn't matter what type of meat you eat at all. All of it in some way is promoting an environment that is bad for you in your system. So let's get into some of the dangers of eating meat besides the fact that your body just isn't made to digest it correctly. There has been a study done by Harvard that directly correlated red meat to diabetes. No, I know you've heard that diabetes is the specific result of too much sugar consumption, but it's just not true. It's in your meat. It's not the disease is not in the meat. It's the effects on the body, so to speak. The same study has also said that people who eat red meat are at a significantly higher have significantly higher incidences of disease and diabetes being the one, and are also gaining weight on significantly. So that's red meat, that's pork, to be one. So on the exclusion, on the 60-day challenge, we've taken red meat and pork and things like that out completely. You're not to have those throughout the length of this challenge. Okay. But so you're not saying, okay, so that's good. What about the healthier meats or the leaner meats, so to speak? Every piece of meat has about 40% fat in it. I don't care what type of meat we're talking about. You cannot separate fat from meat just because it's a leaner cut. There's still fat inside the meat, period. So 40% of it is fat. And a lot of that saturated fat. So it's a bad fat for you, for one. Two, when your body digests lean cuts of meat, even the lean cuts of meat, chicken and fish and turkey, the process, because it's such a a lengthy and process for your body to do this, and it taxes your liver beyond no measure. It leaves a lot of acid in your body. And now we're going to talk about alkalinity and acidity in the probably in the coming weeks. So I don't want to get too much into it. But an acidic profile in your body is the precursor to a bunch of diseases like cancer, diabetes, heart disease. It literally is the precursor to these diseases. And when you consume meat, there is an overly acidic waste that is left in your body that you have to clean up. So generally what happens is your body tries to protect your organs by taking that acid and turning it into fat, or not turning it into fat, but lodging it in fat. So you start gaining weight from eating meat. Yes, you can gain weight. You will gain weight by consuming even the leaner cuts of meat. So am I saying that you can't eat meat? No, I'm not saying you can't eat meat. Am I saying you need to severely limit that stuff? Yes, you should severely limit the amount of meat that you eat. And as a lifestyle choice, there's some meats that you should just choose not to eat at all because of how dangerous they are. The moment you put them in your body, they are spiking your ability to be susceptible to certain diseases. Okay? So the leaner cuts of meat being the chicken, the fish, and the turkey, even lamb, leaner cuts of meat, are totally on the restricted list for the 60-day challenge. Now, you can the slow guidelines allow you to have that for 2 to 3 times a week, and the freak guidelines allow you to have that 1 to 2 times a week. So now that you're informed on meat and some of its dangers in the body, how it's undigestible for the most part, three days or more to digest it. Your body wasn't specifically designed to digest it in the first place. The disease that comes from it is dangerous. Speaking of, one thing I left off as far as disease is your body starts to build up this mucus in the colon due to how the meat is broke down, which starts to stick to the walls of the colon, and it acts as if a little kind of like a roach motel. When roaches go in, they don't come out because they get stuck. Well, that's what's happening to the food particles as they're going through, it's not just food, but waste as it's going through the colon, rather. And now it's stuck. And so that's why some of you, when you stopped eating so much meat and started eating more fresh fruits and vegetables, you started losing weight, not just because of just fat loss, but because toxins and waste have been eliminated from your body. So there's this mucus, and it's a bad thing for you. So that's pretty much dangerous stuff all around, okay? So be very careful with how much meat you consume, even giving it to your children. If you're eating fresh fruits and vegetables, you're eating your beans, you're eating your quinoa, you're eating your protein sources that come from growth of natural plants. You're going to get enough protein in your new healthy lifestyles to benefit your body. So do not be worried about whether I'm getting enough protein or not. You're getting enough protein. The American diet is consisting of too much protein. So you shaving meat out of it is not hurting you in the least. Okay? So that's our portion on meat. Hope you got something out of that. And I think we'll be back next with other details of something. I'm not sure.